Hello everyone, my name is Unreal Khan. Welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4 in the Fire Rises mod. Now you're probably wondering, yes, do your eyes deceive you? No. I am playing China. Oh boy. Here we go. I'm currently doing this in the middle of my TNO Novosibirsk episodes, which I'm going to get to that soon, as well as Germany. I'm going to get into France. I'm getting into Russia. But yeah, we're now into the last major bastion of communism in the world. Now, when I say major bastion, I mean superpower-wise. They are the last bastion of communism. Because I know we have Vietnam, Cuba, Venezuela, but in terms of superpower status or major power status, it's China. So, you probably are wondering, what is my strategy for this series? Well, I've never played China before, so this is kind of like a semi-blind playthrough, but I have a certain plan. If you're wondering, no, I am not going to choose the path that seems to be the most popular in social media in regards to the PRC. And unfortunately, that path is Logi. If you guys don't know what Logi is, it basically is a path, one of the paths you can take, where if you lose the liberation of Taiwan or the Republic of China, you could replace your leadership with a sentient VTuber avatar girl, a sentient AI. Oh, I hate AI. I mean, that's not the reason I'm playing that series. I think it looks interesting, if not crazy. But in regards to that, no, I am not playing Logi. I know that's going to upset some of you guys, but I'm just not a fan of doing something that's like so overused by the fandom. You know what I mean? But Mr. Unreal Khan, what about Novosibirsk and TNO? That's an overplayed warlord. Well, I know that, but I've played a lot of other warlords to the point where I just got bored and decided to get into it. But for China, I'm not sure where I'm going to go. Let's just stick with it for now. We'll figure out what to do. For now, I know I'm 3 minutes in, 4 minutes, but let us read what we have to deal with today. We are led by Bing Chiling, or Xi Jinping. Waza Beijing. You know those memes? That's him. Okay. We are led by the CPC, the Communist Party of China. That's weird. We're a market socialist. Or no, not weird. I kinda studied it to figure out what was going on. The reason they are not Maoist anymore, or totalitarian socialist like Joseph Stalin, as far as I know, you're welcome to prove me wrong on that YouTube. The reason is because they've not necessarily wanted to commit to total totalitarian communism like Joseph Stalin or Vladimir Lenin wanted. I mean, Lenin was kind of a reformist compared to Stalin, but whatever. They are marketers, market socialists. The reason is because that was their original invasion. They wanted to have a blend of capitalism with communism. I'll get into that topic later. I know it's kind of frustrating for some of you guys, but I'll shut up. So we are market socialists. Market socialism, often colloquially called Dengism, covers a wide range of socialist thought that incorporates markets into a socialist economy. See, this is what it means. It argues that at the current stage of societal and economical development, the country is not prepared to adopt full-planned socialism. It must adopt certain capitalistic reforms in order to develop the productive forces of a country. Market socialist countries typically participate in the global economy, have private property and private businesses, and the government directs and indirectly controls the businesses. Okay. We're a socialist market economy. Government and private entities collaborate to build a more just society. The government owns some enterprises and oversees the economy to guarantee equity, while private companies operate and develop. One of the primary objectives is to ensure that everyone has access to essential services such as food, housing, and healthcare. Another objective is to foster innovation and entrepreneurship, while also ensuring that businesses operate in the best interests of the public. CPC. Since 1949, because that's when this country was established, the CPC has been the unquestioned ruler of mainland China. Even after the collapse of the several communist states led by the USSR, Socialist China has remained in East Asia and gradually become one of the most powerful countries in the world, following its reform and opening up. The reasons behind the CPC's ability to consolidate its dominance in China, with a population of 1.4 billion, have been the topic of much debate. Some argue that the CPC has abandoned its communist credo, promising economic prosperity in exchange for support, has adopted the traditional ideology of the old empire to keep the people in fear and obedience. Others contend that the CPC has succeeded by infiltrating its ideology and organization into every aspect of society and has been invigorated by continuous reforms. Whatever the case, one thing is certain. It would take an apocalyptic level disaster to topple the giant that is the CPC. Probably the Great Asian War. Corrupt bureaucracy. I hate them. Yeah, go ahead and read that. Since the dynasties of old, China has always been rife with corruption, from backstabbing Inuits to the warlords who only knew how to burn and loot, or the nationalist bureaucrats who only cared about their own pockets. The people have suffered them for thousands of years. Because of that, the CPC was able to emerge from the bloody struggles, sweeping away the evil forces. However, after several campaigns initiated by Mao and the reform under Deng, the party's cadres have unintentionally become a new upper class. The imbalanced and inadequate economic development, the culture of distrust, and factional struggle have spread the bribery and cronyism among officials. Although Xi's anti-corruption campaign has achieved significant results, it only temporarily curbed the trend of corruption. The separatist problem. China's separatism has become a chronic problem troubling the central government for many years. Not only are the I don't know how to say it, I'm sorry. Not only are the Uyghurs in Xinjiang and the Lamas in Tibet seeking independence, but also the restless special administration region of Hong Kong and the rebellious island of Taiwan are making trouble. They're the legit government in my eyes. The Chinese government has tried various methods from conciliatory policies to harsh repression to deal with separatists, but all have ended in failure. In addition, foreign interference has also complicated the separatist issues in different regions. Mild pandemic. We all know how that happened. Socialism with Chinese characteristics. Yep. Chinese products have been found on every end of the globe, whether it's electronics, phones, home appliances, clothing, or even food. These all stem from China's colossal industrialization in the later stages of the Cold War, with the globalization and relaxation of regulations imposed by Chairman Deng Xiaoping. China had effectively become the workshop of the world, as it quickly rose to become the greatest exporter of goods on the entire planet. However, with our prosperity came backlash from the protectionist Western markets, with the label of Made in China becoming associated with low, albeit plentiful quality products, largely due to a lack of quality assurance in our industrial exports. However, in recent years, the CPC has been seeking to shift the focus of the economy away from manufacturing and towards high-tech innovation, a process that has come with many bumps and hurdles. Chinese environment. China's rapid economic growth has also created some of the worst environmental pollution problems in history. Soil erosion from excessive logging, air and water pollution from heavy industry, and the endangerment of many animal species due to the lack of regulation are all urgent issues that need to be addressed. Since Xi Jinping came to power, the government has introduced several radical environmental policies, and Xi's own slogan, "Clear waters and green mountains are as valuable as gold and silver mountains," has become a household word. Although severe restrictions on industry have led to slower economic growth and unemployment, environmentalists claim that these are necessary sacrifices. Current environmental reform progress plus 40%. Okay. That's a lot. Sorry. So I guess my plan at the moment is we're just gonna build up our military, our industry. I just realized we're gonna get hit by the pandemic first, so it's gonna get harder at first, but then we're gonna be able to interfere more often. So let's see. Oh dang. Ooh. Let's finish these bad boys up, and then let's get to... What's the difference? Engine, torpedoes, engine, oh, this one has level 2, this one has level 1, level 2, level 2 engine, level 1, level, okay. Let's go for these. North Sea. You're over here. You are going... East Sea. Just spam them. That's all we're gonna do. Let's get into it. Alright, let's speed up time. Okay, we're in lockdown Wuhan. As panic spreads, the situation is getting out of control. Since CCTV reported the discovery of a new type of infectious disease, there have been signs of mass outflows of people from all over Hubei province, mainly from the city of Wuhan. Cities are scrambling to get out of the city, highways are overcrowded, bringing traffic to complete standstill. We sit back and do nothing, that within a few days, more cases of infection will be found in hospitals all over the country. We must make a decision as soon as possible and decree a total lockdown of Wuhan right now. Red Dragon descended. In the 4 decades since Deng Xiaoping overthrew the vile Gang of Four. That is not a TNO reference, people. That actually happened. TNO merely copied the Gang of Four and pasted it into National Socialist Germany and Spear. It wasn't just an original concept, it actually happened. Anywho, the PRC has known very little success. Rather than cling to the orthodox Maoism of his predecessors, Deng adopted a more pragmatic view that has come to be known as socialism with Chinese characteristics. Excuse me. Government-owned industries were privatized and a new era of economic growth began. The subsequent administrations of Jiang Zemin and Hu Jintao put China on a peaceful road to superpower status through commerce and globalization. This course deviated in 2012 when Xi Jinping took the mantle of paramount leader. Eschewing the subdued manner of his predecessors, Xi took on a firmer stance, eager for all the world to know that Chinese power is here to stay. For all its purposes, however, China has been unable to win the international admiration the United States enjoyed in the 20th century. Beijing remains the target of unending criticism for everything from its handling of the Hong Kong anti-extradition protests to the continued tensions with Taiwan. President Xi's heavy-handed approach to governance has done little to help matters. Now, as the year of the rat dawns, the People's Republic finds itself in interesting times. America, both a bitter rival and lucrative trading partner, tears itself apart, shattering global stability, but also leaving room for a new hegemonic power. Though potential rivals to Beijing remain in Moscow, New Delhi, and Brussels, this present crisis is rife with opportunity. China will grow larger. The virus spreads to other provinces. Bad news keeps coming one after another. Reports of the rampant spread of the coronavirus across Hubei province have piled up on the desk of the director of the National Health Commission. Meanwhile, reports of suspected cases of the virus have started coming in from neighboring provinces such as Hunan and Sichuan, as well as from major economic centers like Shanghai and Guangdong, and even the political center, Beijing. Containing the outbreak with one province seems impossible. We must now swiftly adjust our strategy, prepare to mobilize the entire nation to combat the epidemic, and ensure this is done without causing excessive public panic. Let's hope it's not too late. We have this under control. So we have National People's Congress. Oh, this is so hard. National People's Congress is the main legislative body of the PRC, of the People's Republic of China. Under China's constitution, the NPC is structured as an unicameral legislature with the power to legislate and oversee the operations of the government. The Supreme Court, Special Committee, the Supreme Procuratorate, the Central Military Commission, and elect the major officers of state. While many have criticized the institution as a mere rubber stamp, gaining the support of its 2,980 members is vital for passing government's policy, especially considering nearly all of the high-ranking members of the Communist Party sit inside of it. Thus, securing the support of the NPC can be seen as securing the support of the party itself. Remember that when one faction comes to power, the large influence of the others can create some problems. I think we are centrist, reformist, revanchist, and new leftist. Okay. We have researched the coronavirus vaccine and such. Environmental policy. Centrists are those wishing to preserve the status quo. State pragmatism that combines socialist economic planning with market distribution tactics, along with a proletarian dictatorship in order to guide the country. Being led by Xi Jinping, it unites the two major factions within the Chinese government: the princelings and the Tuan Pai. I'm sorry if I said that wrong. Please forgive me. My understanding of how to say Chinese words probably just sucks. So please forgive me. China's rise will be a slow one under the centrist ones, but surely a steady one. Reformists. Reformists fondly recall the prosperity and stability during the tenures of Jiang Zemin and Hu Jintao. As a result, they have grown increasingly opposed to the more assertive and centralized leadership under Xi Jinping. Politically, reformists advocate for a younger leadership and push for the rule of law to replace the rule by man. Economically, they propose a broad range of solutions, including further market reforms and better wealth distribution. Though still loosely organized, their collective voice is becoming harder to ignore. Revanchists view the party's primary goal. Let me just play this. Revanchists view the party's primary goal in the 21st century as rectifying the century of humiliation China endured. All other objectives must support this mission, often through extreme measures if necessary. They are particularly focused on the military, represented by the PLA, People's Liberation Army, which becomes a key area for their influence. Additionally, many revanchists regard the People's Republic as an essential part of China's millennia-long imperial tradition, emphasizing cultural and ideological integration between the two. New Left. New leftists are a wide collection of social democrats, left conservatives, Maoists, trade unionists, and various non-CPC socialists, seeing Deng Xiaoping's reform opening up as a betrayal of the socialist project. They seek to bring China back to the road of socialist reconstruction and restore the original vision of Marx and Mao. So it's merely about picking which party to support. But I know enough about China to know that if you win the Taiwan liberation, you will stay centrist. It's only if you lose that will other factions show up, and you can put them to power. Duality of the party. Since the economic reforms in China, the Communist Party of China has been grappling with a fundamental division in its policies. On one side, there is a faction that advocates for focus on restoring social equality and ensuring fair distribution of economic resources. Conversely, another faction pushes for the acceleration of the culmination of productive forces and the expansion of the economic pie. You can read the rest here. We'll see. Wuhan outbreak identified to be caused by a coronavirus. Hopefully it doesn't get worse. First death reported. Hopefully it doesn't get worse. But that's why I'm locking down Wuhan. Mainland voiced strong opposition to DPP victory. As the 2020 Taiwanese general election has come to an end, Tsai Ing-wen, as the candidate of the Democratic Progressive Party, would claim victory. Relevant departments of the mainland solemnly reiterated that Taiwan has belonged as part of China since ancient eras, and the state would never allow any Taiwan independence to split the country and secessionist forces to make Taiwan secede from China under any name or by any means. The spokesperson of the Taiwan Affairs Office of the State Council severely condemned the DPP authorities for refusing to recognize the 1992 consensus, openly challenging the One China principle, and seriously undermining the peace and stability of the Taiwan Strait. The spokesperson stressed that the motherland has the firm will, full confidence, and sufficient capability to thwart any form of Taiwan independence separatist attempts. Beijing stressed that the Taiwan issue is part of China's internal affairs, and any interference by external forces will be resolutely countered. The mainland warned that any collusion and provocation between Taiwan independence forces and external forces will be effectively dealt with. Analysts point out that although the DPP continues to stubbornly advance a separatist position, the historical trend is irreversible. The unification of the motherland is unstoppable, and any act of betraying the nation will end in complete failure. Continue to monitor the Strait, supporting any efforts to maintain national unity. President Xi visits Myanmar to peaceful coexistence. U.S. State Department issues Taiwan Strait statement. As attention grew in the tension strait, the U.S. Department of State issued reiterating its position of opposing any unilateral changes to the status quo. We firmly oppose foreign interference in China's internal affairs. Lockdown Wuhan. Let's do this one. Nationwide lockdown. This will be unprecedented in public health history. In order to contain the outbreak as quickly as possible, the entire country will enter a quasi-wartime system with strict restrictions on travel and transportation to contain the spread of the virus. Citizens infected with the coronavirus will be isolated and treated in hospitals and temporary medical stations. At the same time, medical scientists and biologists throughout the country are mobilized to find the ultimate solution to defeat the virus. I have 100 days to mission control the outbreak. Trump announces military aid to Taiwan. This is a grave violation of China's sovereignty. You can read the rest.